Greetings from the Erie Coast. This is Mad Shad. This is another episode of the Zoot Report, Sunroof edition. Let's go. Oh, it's a beautiful day here in Northeast Ohio. 73 degrees. Cloudy as fuck and raining. It just stopped raining. The rain has stopped. The rain has subsided. So it's a good day. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Yeah, I don't get to participate or to experience any of the anomalies and activities of today. The auspicious things that happened today. I did not notice the loss of gravity around 9:30. Maybe I just didn't know, didn't care. I don't know. Didn't see the partial eclipse because, well, it's cloudy. I don't get to see the alignment of the planets, nor do I get to see the meteor showers, unless of course they hit like where I'm at. That's the only way that I'll get to see them. We have rain in the forecast. That's what we got. Lots and lots of rain. So yeah, so if you were able to float for 7 seconds, please tell me in the comments. I've never experienced anti-gravity. You know, to think about it, I've never. Maybe going over a hill, right? In my car, you go over a hill and you go over the hill and you go down the hill, right? That's the closest I've ever gotten to anti-gravity. Well, it's over within a second or two. So, I never get to feel it. I never get to really experience it. But solar eclipse, I've seen a few. Yep, I've seen a few. Meteor showers, I've seen many of those. The alignment of the planets, I don't know. I've never really looked into that. I don't know. I like to look at the big picture. I do. I like to look at the step back, way back. Like if I was standing on Jupiter, looking at the Earth. What if the Earth was 1,000,000 miles away and all we see were the colors of blue and gray? Right? So, I don't know. I like to. It kind of puts things in perspective. Kind of. I mean, we get this idea that attention to detail, and it brings us in. It focuses, everything real small and finite. It's like you got a microscope and you're looking at the actual building blocks of the universe, the atoms, right? The molecules of everything on this planet. And it's a microcosm, macrocosm. It is. It really is. The same principles apply in the microscopic world and small atom world applies in a large scale in the universe. I mean, it really does. But of course, how many of us are going to escape the confines of the Earth and its gravitational pull and go out into space? what we can, I guess. You know, if we have the right optics, maybe there's get online and check out I used to watch the NASA shuttle footage, or there's a fucking space station up there floating around. You can tap into that, those live feeds, and just watch the Earth. It's pretty cool. Lots of storms. It boggles the mind when you look at the Earth. It's like, you really can't tell if people are there. You can't tell if it's really inhabited. At night you can. At night it's like, whoa, look at all these lights. Damn. I mean, it lights up the sky, man. The dark side of the Earth is just, boom, just pinpointed. And each one of those pinpoints are like little city, or big cities. Big fucking cities. And just a string of lights everywhere. It's pretty badass. It makes you just kind of step back and go, wow, this is amazing. You know, it helps me to forget the problems of this world, the issues of this world, the things that we have cause and concern for. There's, when you step back and look at it all from a distance, it changes your perspective. It changes the way that you think. It does. I'm no longer focused on trying to survive, trying to get to work, trying to drive, trying to do all these weird things, trying to circumnavigate the Earth and traffic and all that shit. I'm just looking at the Earth in whole, and the moon and the sun, our trip around it, all the moving parts. It's pretty amazing, and it just quietly does it. It just quietly does it. It seems that the closer you get to a planet, the more hustle and bustle and bullshit there is. Things moving faster, but you back up and there's this like surreal calm. Even though that the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour and rotating around the sun at like, I forget, 45,000 miles per hour. We're careening through the solar system at 45,000 miles an hour, and the solar system itself is moving through the universe at like, I forget, some ungodly. It's a lot more than 45. It's a lot. It's a lot. So thinking about that, how fast can I go? I can only go 120 miles an hour right now. That's it. If I had the room, if I had the open highway, and I could go. If I had the fuel, I could fly at 1,000. I forget, what is it? 1,000 miles? No. What's Mach 1? I forget what Mach 1 is. It's close to 1,000. It's like 900 something, I think. Is it? No, I think it's like 7 or 8. Mach 1. The sound barrier. I don't know. I forget. But and we've been this way for, I don't know, 9 billion years. There's been a lot of changes. And you think we only have like a good 70, 80 years on this planet. I mean, you think about it. And if you think about it from a cognitive perspective, you know, maybe 40 or 50 years. Because you think differently when you're young. You're not thinking about this Earth. You're not thinking about, you know, the planets and the stars. I mean, I did when I was a kid. It was pretty cool. I had the Atlas. I had the starter telescope kit. I had the Sky Atlas and all that. And I tried to like be that amateur sky kid. You know, tell everybody like, oh, there's a meteor shower coming. It's going to be amazing. Right? Mars is going to, you know, and I could still do that. I can, you know, people are like, wow, look at that star. I was like, that's not a star. That's Mars. Huh? Yeah, that's not a star. That's Venus. Bullshit. You know what you're talking about? Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah. You know, it's like, okay, whatever. Yeah. I used to argue when I was a kid. Look at the sky and go, that way's north. How do you know? Well, this the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, right? You know. And I was fascinated with, you know, when I went into the different hemispheres. I always made it a point to look up at night and look at the stars because they were different. It's like, whoa, these are different. No shit. Which is very helpful in navigation, right? But I think that we need that. We need to change our perspective from time to time, change our focus. You know, we're so like focused on the grind. We're focused on, you know, the task. We're focused on things here. We never allow ourselves to sit down and just look at the stars and contemplate and understand what's going on up there and our role in this universe, in this solar system. You know, it truly boggles the mind once you open your head to that. All your earthly problems just kind of go away. Because the amount of time that this earth has been there are older things than us. A lot older things than us. Think about that. There are things out there floating around, flying around, you know, that are a lot older than us. So, you know, when you talk about aliens and shit like that, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It would be a mathematical improbability that there isn't other life forms in this universe. Just that we haven't seen it yet, and we've been able to look 245 million light years in a sphere coming from the center of the Earth and outward. And we've got stuff out there that can punch out. We got the Voyager, right? The Discovery. It's out there. It's actually still sending back stuff. So, yeah. I don't know. It's out there. But just thinking like, wow, we've got our little home here, our little dirty snowball that's in the Goldilocks zone of a solar system, you know, tucked away in the Milky Way. Oh yeah, the Milky Way is moving at something like 1 million miles a minute or some shit. It's crazy. It's not like light years, but it's a lot. We're actually on a crash course with Andromeda. We're going to become eventually. This is far future. Is that the Milky Way and the Andromeda are going to merge and become one eventually. What that looks like, I don't know. It's probably not going to happen in our lifetime. I think we got like 1 million years or some shit. The sun is like projected to last about 1 million years before it goes supernova. So I don't know. Be interesting to be able to fast forward and check that out. I doubt, but we only get like finite amount of years here. 80, 90, 100 miles at best, 100 years at best. So who wants to live forever? Talk about a boring time. But if you could be okay with just sitting and watching and waiting and not experience boredom, I don't know. That would be cool. Just watch the progression. Be like Heimdall, be able to look at everything, to peer into the 9 realms, and to see anything and everything. So that'd be interesting. We can. I mean, I've talked about it before, but it's just it boggles the mind once you start thinking about it. It does. Space and time. It doesn't know death. It doesn't know, it doesn't know boredom. It just quietly goes about the business of, interacting and being, just being in a state of being, whatever that state is. Very slow and deliberate movements, but at like ungodly rate of speed. I mean, everything is at all these vast distances, between everything. And every now and then something comes streaking by, something the size of the Empire State Building, just streaking past like 150,000 miles per hour. Like, holy shit, what was that? Freaking dirty snowball hauling ass. I got yours parking? Hell yeah, let's go. Got that parking. No. We'll take this one. I'll take this one. So yeah, folks, just something to think about. I do this from time to time, and it's good to get outside your head. You know what I mean? It's good to think about other things than life. Think about it. It makes me think about life and how it's allowed to exist, and how amazing that is. We are allowed to experience this because of these celestial things that are going on. Pretty fucking badass. So anyway, thank you very much for hanging out with me in this on this day, Wednesday. We all gonna die, so make sure you go to Hudson Valley Prepping and listen to the after action report, and of course the the future of how we're going to die. Yep, Hudson Valley Mike and Livingston Man. So I'm gonna try to make it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we didn't die. We didn't float off into space. We did okay. We survived. So thank you very much for hanging out with me for this Zoot report. And deploy knife hands, skull.